Sally Kipyego of Texas Tech is going for history today. She's already won 2 titles. Do you think she wins 3, which makes history, and can anyone stop her?
Lewis, I think she's the odds-on favorite is Sally Kipyego. She's won the last 2 years, and she has run hard right from the front. She likes that tactic. It serves her well, and no one's been able to stay with her. Jenny Behringer tried early last year, the woman from Colorado, and she wound up finishing back. The woman who might challenge her is Kendra Schaff, I think has the best chance, a young freshman from the University of Washington. They have a superb team. The University of Washington is favored, I think, over Oregon to win the women's title here at the NCAA cross-country team.
All right, Larry, when we come back, the women will take to the course, toe the line, and a run for an individual and national title. Back in Terre Haute, Indiana, moments away from the start of the 2008 Cross Country National Championships. And today out on the course, we're going to have an experienced reporter. Carrie Tollefson won an individual and national title with Villanova a few years ago, and she's going to give us some information. Hey, Carrie.
Hey, Lewis, how you doing?
Great.
You've talked about conquering this course and conquering the competition. It's been raining all night. It's cold and windy. I think it's a little bit harder on the fans than it is the runners. They're going to have fun regardless. But let's take a quick look at the race today. The first 400 meters of this course is a slight uphill, which is good for many of the runners because it helps to temper their enthusiasm. Then it's downhill with a lot of speed. At 2K, they hit the tree line, the most protected part of the course, where the runners settle into their pace. At 3K, we're at the halfway point, and this is where the race really begins. The stairway is an uphill that will separate the pretenders from the contenders. 4K and some fool's gold, you can see the finish line, but there is still well over a mile to go. From here, the corkscrew, and it's all out. With 1K to go, we'll see if there's anyone that can handle Sally Kipyego.
All right, Carrie, looking forward to hearing from you all throughout this afternoon. And let's take a look at the weather, Larry. And boy, it is cold out here. The wind is blowing. Temperature's 45 degrees. I just don't quite believe that. But these runners, nonetheless, are used to these types of temperatures as they are now set to start.
When they get to the tree line that Carrie talked about, the area will be protected. We're about 30 feet above ground, and it's about 20 to 25 miles an hour, the wind blowing up here. As you see, everybody lined up across the course. Teams are slotted all the way across. The individuals are scattered throughout in an organized fashion with the team competition.
All right, the gun is up. There's the whistle.
.327 women on that starting line, Lewis.
And they're off. The women first for 6,000 meters, 3.7 miles, and a run for a national championship, both for the teams and the individuals.
Lewis, that's a 400-meter point from where they started until they reach the finish line where we're located. And it's, as was mentioned by Carrie, very slightly uphill. I've run that the last couple of days checking out the course. The grass here in the ground is firm. It has been below freezing each of the last 6 nights before tonight, but the ground is not frozen. It's very solid. The footing is good despite the rain. The grass cut to about 1.5 inches, 2 inches in length. So it's a firm, fairly soft, but solid footing for the ladies as they come across this long stretch.
And as you watch these runners make their way down the course, check out the fans that will also crisscross the course. You're talking about coaches, parents, and just general fans who love the sport of cross country will now move to other positions to try and yell out times, give a cheer, and also support their favorite athletes.
Lewis, 4,000 people have been the average attendance for the last 4 NCAA championships here at the Laverne Gibson facility, and they expect 4,000 paid again here today, as the women have now reached about the 400-meter mark or so of this race early on.
As you look at everyone running here, you notice what they're wearing, or should I say what they're not wearing. Folks, it is cold out here. The wind is blowing. It is in the low 40s, I'd say the upper 30s, but this is cross-country weather. You have to have a passion for long-distance running to be involved in this business, and that's exactly what we're witnessing right now, as now these individuals begin to make the early strides, thinking about a chance for a national title. Of course, that's all about Sally Kipyego. but also all the teams that are hoping to score points for the universities and make a mark at these championships.
Lewis, in essence, to put it in short form, there are 300 teams that could qualify for this Division 1A, as they have called it, competition, and about 10% have qualified to come here to Terre Haute, Indiana, and compete here.
And Larry, if you look right there, 637 in the red jersey with the gloves on, there is Sally Kipyego, two-time defending champion in this event, and she is hoping to make history now. There you see her on the right, and win a third national title.
Susan Kaikan with from Florida State University in the ponytail. Just off her shoulder, Nicole Bush with the S from Michigan State is up there. Tasman Fanning with the VT from Virginia Tech, also given a chance to finish very high in this competition, as they have decided that they're going to match strides early going here with Sally Kipyego.
Well, interesting to see Kipyego with the gloves and the hat on. We did not see that last year. It is much colder here, and I imagine at some point she's going to shed that clothing, but early on, just trying to keep her hands and head warm. Kipyego already in the front, leading the way. Sally Kipyego leading the way here as the women run for 6,000 meters for a national championship. When we come back, we'll pick up the race. Stay with us. Back live on CBS College Sports as the NCAA cross-country championships have just gotten underway. The women are on the course running 6,000 meters. And in the lead, Sally Kipyego, the two-time defending champion from Texas Tech. There you see her with the headband and the gloves running. And you see her in the front. That's not an accident. This lady really embraces a strong pace.
I like to run hard because I think it's just fair, and it just evens out the race well. And it just, to me, it's a very fair race. It's not running a race and then having the last 200 people to kick and try to win the title. I think having a fair race and running hard, the athletes get to run the entire race, just not part of the race. And I think that's the fairness of it. If you run a hard race throughout the race, you know you really deserve that title.
Sally is not a strong kicker. She runs a very solid, hard pace. She's got a kick, but it's not as good as a lot of other athletes. So she, by her definition of fair, Lewis, is to make sure the pace is hard all the way, and a lot of women who are slower than her won't out-kick her. Susan Kaikan from Florida State University, one of the top finishers last year, is holding on to the pace, starting to fade up there. A bit of a surprise initially from Missouri State. That is Pasca Chariot, also from Kenya, as Sally Kipyego is. The first mile covered in a very brisk 4 minutes and 59 seconds. That into a headwind is extraordinarily impressive. And just quickly, for you fans not familiar with 6,000 meters, that works out to about 3 3/4 of a mile is the distance here at the Laverne Gibson Championship Cross Country Course, a fabulous facility donated by the Gibson family to the whole surrounding area here.
Larry, again, a great look at this large field of runners traversing this course. The Laverne Gibson Championship course is respected by all, and as you look there at the top of your screen, moving to the right, a woman who is undefeated in cross country, Sally Kipyego of Texas Tech, trying to get that third national championship. And right behind her is Susan Kaikan, who finished third at last year's national championships.
Lewis, I said to John Murray, who is Sally Kipyego's coach, and I know she's had just such a stellar cross-country career down there. She's a senior now, and nursing major is Kipyego. I said, undefeated this year. And his coach looked at me and he said, undefeated in 4 years in cross-country.
That's right. All right, here are your 2,000-meter splits.
6:12, again, solid pace. It's about a 73-74 second last 400 meters. Kaikan holding on, Chariot on third. A surprise from Missouri State, was not talked about by many of the pundits, and I'm very surprised she's up there early. We'll see what happens later in the race. But Kaikan, a very carefree, relaxed, fun lady who keeps her whole team loose, just doesn't let pressure get to her, from the Netherlands. And she is a junior at Florida State under Coach Karen Harvey.